Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
This is not a trick question, but do you have any idea what percent of post-secondary students in America enroll in for-profit colleges and universities?
Off the top of my head, sir, I don't, but I can get you that information.
I'll tell you what it is. I'm going to give you the answer, and it's not to trick you. It's 8%. 8% post-secondary students in America enroll in for-profit colleges and universities. Next question. What percent of student loan defaults in America are accounted for by for-profit college students?
I have a feeling you're going to share that answer with me, sir, so I'll turn it back to you.
As I said, I'm not trying to trick you. 30.
30.
8% of the students, 30% of the student loan defaults. What does it tell us? It tells us they're enrolling students who can't finish, won't finish. It tells us also they're charging money that students can't repay even if they're employed. 8%, 30%. As often as I meet you here each year, I'm going to ask you the same question because the numbers don't change. But here's what's interesting. In the COVID-19 situation, colleges and universities across America are generally struggling for enrollment, except for the for-profit schools. They've seen a 3% increase in students. How can that be? Are they that good? They market and advertise constantly. You don't have to turn on television or look into the news except to see the latest ad for them. Now, the reason I raise that is because I think that raises a serious policy question about a branch of higher education that is failing so many students and yet receives such a handsome federal subsidy. Now, you have many roles as Secretary of Education, educator, principal, president of the university, all these things, all of the above, and you certainly have the background for it. But there's one aspect of your responsibility that I want to delve into that is not often brought up. You are one of the nation's biggest bill collectors. You're a credit agency. You're a banker. And I want to tell you, the record that was written by your predecessor in this field is not one that I think we want to see continue. For example, if I might, public service loan forgiveness. Are you familiar with it?
Sure.
Do you know what the DeVos administration did with public service loan forgiveness? I'll tell you. 99% of those who applied were denied. That is just outrageous. And then Congress tried to extend the program with a new version. That was ignored as well. So Secretary DeVos was channeling Henry Potter and not George Bailey many, many times. When it came to borrower defense, of 108,000 students who applied and said that they were the victims of fraud by for-profit colleges and universities, the DeVos Education Department, as they were leaving town, denied 80,000 of them after waiting month after month and year after year. The lives of these borrowers have been compromised. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with ECMC. Has your staff given you a briefing on your collection agency?
Yes, we've had.
They have? Well, I will tell you, the last point I want to make before I turn it over for your response is this. They are outrageous. The policies that they use to collect on student loans, I don't think any of us want to try to defend in public. If someone goes into bankruptcy court and tries, with the one narrow exception to the bankruptcy code for student loans, undue hardship, they don't have a chance. ECMC is going to beat them back. Whether or not you're dealing with veterans who are so disabled that they can't pay back their loans, people subsisting on Social Security disability, people with terminal illness, they're all beaten back and denied by your collection agency. So, open question, what would you like to do about it?
Thank you, Senator Durbin, for bringing out the facts, and something that I'll be very frank with you is the top priority at the agency. We've done a disservice, and it's time to act. It's time to have our students at the center of the conversations there. It's a high priority for me to make sure that we correct that. It's unacceptable to have 98 or 99% refusal with public service loan forgiveness. I had a conversation with students who had to go through that process and were given the runaround. I was frustrated after that call. They had to hold on and go through different hoops to try to get an answer, and then the answers weren't accurate, and they had to go somewhere else. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. I recently hired Richard Cordray. He was recently appointed by the president. And we need to have a consumer protection mentality. We need to put the students at the center of the conversation, and we need to make sure that what we're doing at the agency is a model for what we expect, and we have to put our loan providers on notice that we are going to put the students first. We haven't been sitting around waiting either, though. We've provided $1.5 billion in relief through borrower defense by delivering $1 billion in full relief to 72,000 borrowers and approving $500 million in discharges, as I mentioned, with ITT. So we're taking every opportunity now to change the culture there, and the message is very clear to Richard. Fix this. Fix this and move quickly and be transparent and change the culture that people perceive, as you pointed out. We have a culture to change, and we have we have to implement strategies better. Our students can't wait, and we're contributing to the problem. You will see a turnaround in that. That's a priority for me.
Thank you. Channel Charge Bailey. Thank you very much.